constipation, slow breathing, and over time, opioid use and misuse can lead to insomnia, muscle pains, heart problems, pneumonia, and addiction. So, of course, knowing these facts can make vital decisions for your future. So, fentanyl deaths are skyrocketing in our country, especially among teens. In Florida alone, fentanyl-related overdoses and the deaths among youth increased by 67% from 2020 to 2021. So that's real big jump. That's over half. Fentanyl is often mixed, as I said before, with heroin, cocaine, and to increase the euphoric effects. But most recent drugs like pills, marijuana, are laced with fentanyl as well. So, but through that, you want to be aware of the drug I want to say it right, naloxone, or more commonly known as Narcan. That drug can bring back someone who's on overdose. They have it like nasal, like Flonase goes through the nostrils, delivered those nostrils, and it can bring people back by blocking the receptors that the drug produces on our that the drug attaches to on our receptors. So, yeah. So here's the box, and you can pick them up at our locations, either at the 300 South Main Street, or at our Spring Hill location, which is 7551 Forest Oaks Avenue, and also through the Hernando Coalition with Teresa Watson. So, but yeah, I don't know if I answered the whole question.
You did. Okay. Give him a hand on that. Thank you so very much. I could not. We're going to get to the audience. I could not help but see the reaction of the president of the NAACP Youth Council, who is here on your panel, Miss Ajana here. And so, Ajana, and I'm going to give her a moment. First of all, to introduce herself, because she just came, and she has something to say. I'm sure she was writing down some notes. Substance abuse and fentanyl. Do you know anything about that? Does that occur in your high school? I know you I think. But introduce yourself first, and then you can respond to and get into the discussion.
Hello, my name is Yanni Clementson. In the Youth Council in Hernando County. I am grateful to be here. I just want to say thank you for my friends and my family to help me along the way from this journey. I just wanted to help the world out in a better place, just hoping it can be as is. So I just want to thank you for the support of Dr. Reverend House and just for everything in general. Just want to help out this community.
Thank you, yeah. Give her a hand. Yes. So you have some notes. Did you want to respond to the fentanyl pandemic?
Sure, yes. So basically, fentanyl is a really dangerous drug, and I feel really disgusted to see it or hear it about it. And I have so many people that I know is dealing with this stuff too. And it's affecting our community and our relationship with those people.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, give her a hand. Give her a hand. This is our youth. This is our next generation. And she's saying that she is affected by it. Thank you for talking about the Narcan. Let's just talk about that just for a second. So we have been conducting community conversations in South Brooksville, right there at 510 East MLK, the past 4 years. And we have, in the last meeting, we met with Teresa Watson. And we talked about what kind of strategies that we can put together so that we can get Narcan into the hands of the individuals who actually need. So one of the questions I wanted to know is, could we get like a dispensary or something like that here on campus so that students, or also on high school campuses, filled with the Narcan? Because I do know that Narcan is very expensive. I went to Walmart to see if I can get some Narcan. And you know how much Narcan costs at Walmart? $50 a box. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So the question is, how can we get Narcan? How can we get enough stock and put them in places strategically where individuals can have access
So
without paying $50 a box?
right. Firstly, at the Florida Department of Health in Hernando County, we give it out for free. And I believe you can get, I think, 3 to 5 boxes per person. So if you want to, you could come in to either location, just go up to the front desk, ask, say, hey, I need a box of Narcan or however many that you need. And they're safe to keep in your car in the glove compartment because they are heat, what is it called? Heat tolerant, but not resistant. So you don't want to keep it outside or like in the garage or in your, they say you can keep it in the glove compartment up to 90 something degrees. I forget the exact amount. I don't know if it's on the box, but that was a suggestion. But you want to always have it with you, so that's a good place to have it. So the trunk is a different temperature. You keep it in the trunk under a certain temperature, and then the glove compartment I think it's up to like 90 degrees. But whether or not it reduces the effectiveness, even so, you still want to use it if someone is going through an overdose to still be somewhat effective to help. So yeah, you can come into the departments and you can get it for free. Now with the Hernando Coalition, Community Coalition, I know at the last community conversation, and I don't want to speak totally for them, they were looking into a dispensary like machine that they can have within the communities. So that's something that Ms. Watson can speak more on, but that would be a great idea for, I mean, not just idea, but a great resource for the community to have. Now, as far as picking it up from us, you can come back each time, you know, that's just this is the one time that you can pick it up 3 to 5 boxes. So if you can grab some and distribute it amongst your community of people that you know and other places like that, where there's a business that you like to frequent, that you know that people have a tendency to maybe seem to be on drugs or things like that, you just want to have that in place so that that resource is there. Because when someone's going through an overdose, you don't have that much time to bring them back. So you don't want them to go over. So, but yeah, our locations, we have that opportunity that you can pick it up 3 to 5 boxes per person. So if you have more than one person in your group, bring them all in the car and like, hey, some Narcan, and that'd be a great resource for you to have.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Black. Did you want to comment? So shifting gears just a little bit, because we do have our students on the panel. In addition to the fentanyl and the drug crisis, what would be some other issues, Ayani, that you as a student would like to bring to the forefront, talk about today, specifically the support for the students? And if I can drill down for girl students.
I was gonna write a lot about the program. I do want to set up a program for Black girls or any girls in general, to help themselves instead of being influenced by those drugs. They can gain some help, some confidence, so they won't be in the wrong hands with wrong people and their wrongdoings. So I just want to say, Magic Girls, the program can really help people out right now, and I'm still planning on it. I mean, I wanted to do a fundraiser, but I don't really know how to set it up.
We're gonna give her a hand in a minute, because I want to color this in here. So one of the issues that our student has brought to us is that one of the reasons why some of the students, they get involved with drugs, especially girls, is that they have low self-esteem. And what God has laid on her heart is to develop some sort of resource that would help girls transition into womanhood properly, to give them the self-esteem that they may be able to function just as they are, that they may know that they are beautiful just as they are. They don't have to compete or compare with one another. I understand with all of the images that bombard us every single day, and advertisement, Barbie this, Barbie that, you have to be this, you have to be that in order to be perfect. 36, 24, 36. No, she wants to develop a program that will help our girls and bring our girls along, right, into women. You know, when we do save a girl and a woman, we save a world. Not to put men down. So when she brought this up, it really touched me, and I took it from my faith persuasion. I took it to the Lord, and He said, "This is something that we may want to like grow." So thank you for bringing that to the forefront. One of the things that we kind of like, okay, all right, because we got hands. All right,
Yeah, you
let's
have
go.
hands. You have hands because you're talking about girls. And since we're talking about girls, okay, I have a daughter and I have a granddaughter, and when you're younger, it's usually like, okay, I'm a princess, but it starts off. My friend is 3 years old. She's a queen at 3, and the reason why she's a queen is because she has to know, say as far as that low self-esteem, no, I'm confident to say I'm a queen. I'm confident to say I'm beautiful. And that's my daughter too. She's been seeing that since she was little. She's confident to say I'm a queen. And so when you ask her why I'm a queen, then she can tell you I'm beautiful. And she can tell you all those wonderful things that make her a queen. So we're queens, okay? And we're queens. And then another thing is too, you said mention Barbie. No, it's not just Barbie. My grandbaby likes Barbie and she likes Tiana, which and she likes, what is it? She's learned about some of the ones that a little before her, like Snow White and Cinderella and all those different ones. But in the end, all we know, she knows she's a queen and she knows she's beautiful. All right.
All right, give her a hand. All right, I knew I was gonna get some hands here. Hot topic, hot topic. You want to respond?
Yeah, I don't mind responding. I can say through the community conversations, one of the things that I was most appreciative and very proud of is the mentoring program.
Yes.
Where we went out into school and started at a young age. We were talking about elementary students, 4th and 5th graders, even started with some 3rd graders. Having and assigning those students to mentors. So for the young male students, because we know our young male students, we mentor students. So we paired those young male students with male mentors. And myself, along with Ms. Frontiero and a few others, started mentoring the young ladies. And so I think that in itself helps with building self-esteem. It's going to take young people seeing adults, positive adults, serving as role models to start helping them see their beauty and recognizing that beauty starts from within, that it doesn't end or start with how you look on the outside. If you're not working on your inside, then there's no beauty. And so having those conversations very young with students, making them understand that they are worthy, that they are beautiful, that they are intelligent, that they are powerful, that they are smart. And so, again, I really appreciated that from the mentoring standpoint when we went out into the school. So I think that's a wonderful opportunity, and I hope that mentorship continues.
Patrick, you want to comment on educating women, the support Maybe the Department of Health has some support.
Um,
I don't want to be biased.
as far as the support, I mean, within it all starts at home first. It starts within. We're fearfully and wonderfully made, as you know.
Amen.
So if you don't have a good foundation behind you, you're led to believe anything and do anything. So faith comes by hearing. So if you're hearing everybody saying, "Hey, this is fun, this is cool, this is good," everybody else is like, "Oh, what's so fun? What's cool? What's good about this?" And they're gonna try to seek out what they hear. But if you're building up whether it's your friend, if you're older, you got some type of influence on anybody, whether you're younger. Because I know I'm like in the middle of my family. There's like a lot of people when we're like staircases. It's a lot. So, but you can have a lot of influence for even the older people that you know in your life. So if you're setting a good example, because people always try to put it on the celebrities and things like that, as far as like how, oh, look up to this person that does that, but you have more influence than those people out there, especially if you grab them at a young age. So you want to build up, as far as mentally, you want to build them up with knowing that they're, first of all, made in the image of God. So you don't have to be influenced by other people. You don't have to be influenced by the things that the world has to offer. So you can start there, whether boy, girl, it doesn't matter. Those temptations are out there for everybody. So if everybody's doing it in school, if you want to be cool, because that sort of peer pressure is, you don't really get out of that until like maybe your second year in college. You're gonna want to do what everybody else is doing in order to be cool. And if everybody is doing drugs at the party, if you're influenced enough, you're gonna be led to do that too. So you want to lead them to get involved. Keep them busy, involved in positive things. If the school has something going on, if they're busy, they can't necessarily get involved in that stuff, because we're involved in a lot of sports, a lot of other activities, not just sports. There's other things that you want to get into, like with her, with the NAACP council. There's so much that you can do to keep them occupied. So start with home, start with building up their confidence and who they are, and then they'll be less likely to be led. But of course, we're all individuals and we do what we want to do, but at least they'll have that foundation.
Thank you so very much. So we're definitely going to start at home. Yeah, we're going to bring it to the community in 1 second. So we're going to definitely start at home. We've had mentoring programs so far. And echoing you starting at home as well, with positive affirmations. What are some practical resources that are available now that this student, that Yanni can take advantage of, that our current students can take advantage of now? Does anybody have any information about any resources that are available now?
I don't know that I have a specific resource for your institution at which you're watching, right?
Central High.
Central High School. I would start by going to your school administrator, school counseling team. I know here at PHSC, through our student life, we have clubs that are available. And just so you can surround yourself with students who are of like mind, who are of like interest, and so that you can gain that level of support. Here at the North Campus, we have a lot of health programs. We had a young man many years ago who found himself being kind of alone in the nursing program. He was surrounded by women. And so he started a male nursing health club here at the location. Just again, to try to just bring students together to say, hey, let's support one another and let's bring our thoughts together, brainstorm to see how we can support, how we can come up with fundraising ideas or things of that nature. So I would start with talking with your school about possibly starting a club, see what resources they have to offer you, whether that be the ability to start a club or there are many times that I know in athletics, they're at the school, they do a lot of fundraisers usually. My kids had to go through a lot of them when they were in school. So just reaching out and asking. I appreciate you being here. It takes a lot of bravery to sit on the panel and public speaking. And, it's hard to one things that you really never get used to. So I applaud you for that. But the ability to self-advocate, to go to your school and ask for those resources and see what's available to you. So that would be my suggestion.
Anyone else in the panel want to respond? How about this? We were talking about, how about this? That's just an idea, okay? One day in August, maybe a month from today, you have some girlfriends, right? That you like to bring to the table, right? How about Dan Kincaid? We get in contact with all of the AKAs, we get in contact with some of the FAMU grads, right? And we'll bring those professional women to the table with these girls on that particular day. How about that? How would y'all, how do you think that that might be something as a start where we can begin? Go ahead.
I'm not going to pretend to be an AKA, but I know a lot of AKAs. And they're more than happy to support. I am more than happy to offer my support. Whatever you need, just let me know. Just phone away, have a go to your policy. So absolutely, I would love that. And I know enough positive women who I'm sure will be on board as well. So.
Yeah, we can call it Dream Girls, huh?
Or dream queens.
Dream Queens. Yeah, I'm serious about this. Let's listen. So we just had Miss Julia Pauls. She's from the End Recidivism Project. She just joined us. She's on the panel. You want to introduce yourself? But then now we're in the topic of support for girls, and so that the girls can have support, some sort of transitional support, so that they can come into womanhood. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Julia Pauls. I'm with the End Recidivism Project, located in Pasco County, Florida. We operate in Pasco County, but we also collaborate and partner all throughout the Tampa Bay area. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for coming. So, the issue are girls and providing resources for girls that they may be coming in. And we also addressed the fentanyl epidemic. A lot of girls are falling victim to the fentanyl epidemic. So do you know of any support? You want to respond to that?
There is support out there. We offer support at the End Recidivism Project.
Okay.
I started the Pasco County Reentry Alliance, which is made up of state, local, faith-based, and grassroots organizations, all doing stuff geared towards reentry into the community from incarceration and also diversion. One of the components that we have recently implemented is trying to reach out to young ladies from age 11 to 18. And we do offer coaching, life coaching. We offer health and wellness coaching. We collaborate with quite a few organizations such as Bay Care, West Care, offering them mental health support. One of the things that we have found to be a necessity is to offer mental health, the mental health component for young ladies. If we catch them while they're young, the Bible clearly states, train up a child. And if we catch them while they're young and we implement various ways for them to just go into womanhood, just to come into womanhood, things that their parents may not teach them because they may not have been taught.
Mm-hmm.
So each person is different, each individual is different, but we do have a program that we've implemented and we work alongside other partners in the community to assist with the youth.
Thank you for sharing that. One last question, and then we're going to turn it over to the community for questions, because I know that there's a lot going. Probably go in 30 with this discussion. What have you done, and this is for everyone, what have you done to address the stigma, any kind of stigma, the stigma that comes along with being a woman, the stigma that how hard it is with growing from girl into woman, the stigma with being incarcerated, having come home, the stigma of dealing with fentanyl and having a drug habit. What have you done, or how has,
Or the stigma of avoiding therapy.
or the stigma of avoiding mental, right? But there's stigma about even going to, we say, you know, you need mental health, right? Therapy, but there's a whole stigma about that. And especially within some communities, it's a taboo to even go and get what community. Okay, go ahead. And that's for everybody. Everybody's get your questions ready.
Okay.
I mean, your answers ready. So that is for everyone.
So the first and foremost, you have to educate. If people don't understand what it even is, then they'll come up with their own assumptions and they won't be inclined to do whatever it is that it takes to improve their mental health, or their physical health, spiritual health, any type of positivity in their life, they won't do because you go off assumptions and what you see. So education is very important. That's a part of my job to get the information out there to our communities. There are resources and in the world that we live in, everything's at the palm of our hands, but just want to make sure you're going to the right resources, and you can start with or the Florida Department of Health and any of us that are on the panel. So I believe the biggest component in alleviating a lot of the stigma is education, because and as education develops, you want to also gain that also, because new technology comes along, new programs and health comes along, and it can improve. Instead of using, like back in the day with mental health, they used to give you a lobotomy. So, you know, we don't do that anymore. You know, with education, if they were never educated, they'd still be doing that. You know, so it's important to have that knowledge in order to alleviate that stigma.
Thank you so very much. Stigma. Go, fam.
Absolutely. Being an educational institution, I love that answer. I think education is important in every element. If I would have to add anything, I would say communication is important as well. We have to start talking about it. So many times we fail to talk about it. And when you're not talking about it, it comes off as like a dirty little secret. I don't want to have to, and you become embarrassed or just not wanting to share. So I think the more we talk about it, the less power we give to it. And so if you're talking about it, saying, hey, we all have mental health issues, and we all need to deal with mental wellness at some point. Whether it be anxiety, whether it be stress, whether it be depression. And so it starts with us talking about it and acknowledging it, and of course, educating ourselves. And I would even go to say, surround yourself with a support circle. I was just having this conversation very, very recently. We were talking about the number of men Black men who are suffering from prostate cancer.
We have
They're not talking about it. When you have sons and you have grandsons, I say talk about it. You don't want this. So I think that it's important that we just have to start communicating. Discussions like this, where we're bringing community to the table, let's start talking about it. And the more we start talking about it, the less power we give to the stigmas that may kind of hinder or give someone insecurities about dealing with those things.
Thank you, Dean. Before she goes, you know, she has the right pathos, right? Spirit. Thank you for that. The next summit, quarterly, hopefully and preferably we come back quarterly with the next summit and address that the male stigma. That she hit me right, prostate. Right, bro. Yeah, right. We need to come back with that. We need to that's a whole. I mean, we female top heavy today, but we're gonna come back in 90 days and address that, because she's absolutely right. We are dying in silence because we're too macho. We don't want to talk about it. Let's stop this dying. All right.
So the word that jumps out from her conversation is transparency.
Yes,
Open dialogue.
yes.
So I did put down, I was thinking about that, open dialogue, where we encourage the open discussion around mental health so that we can normalize it.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, when you open dialogue, you reduce the shame of it, and we create a safe space for the children to come in and talk about it. Then
Mhm.
the education and awareness, and also role modeling, where, you know, we're all leaders in the community. When we run across the young girls, you tell them your story. Tell them your story, because we all here have a story to
That's right.
tell.
That's
So
right.
when we normalize it and let them know, I was once there, you
Mhm.
know, and look at me now, you know.
Mhm.
So then when they can see themselves in you, that'll reduce some of the stigma of it. Also, like I said, you tell some of your personal stories about what you went through as a child. And also, we want to try and utilize and implement some anti-stigma campaigns, you know, where we reduce the stigma by eliminating some of the taboo thoughts about mental health and any other thing that the young people want to address. We have to remove those stigmas and reduce those barriers.
Thank you very much.
And I was just gonna say that, you know, as, you know, piggybacking on what all they were talking about with the communication. But one big thing is, like they said, it's open communication. But one thing is, we can just ask a question. Have you had self-care today? Did anybody do any self-care today? So what is it that makes you feel good? You know what I'm saying? Did you go for a walk today? You know what I'm saying? This, you know, just think what self-care have you done today? So, you know, just took time out and say, all right, today will be self-care day for me. And, you know, I'm gonna say sometimes self-care to me means it's Saturday. I know you have a function taking place. And it's like this, I love you, but the day right now is my self-care time. So when that means self-care, that means I'm doing whatever it is that I would like to do. So the only how I'm going to your function is if it happened to be something that I consider to be a part of my self-care for the day. But if not, I'm sorry, but I cannot go because, you know, I have something else that's supposed to be my self-care day.
Excellent stuff. Give the panel a round of applause. Wouldn't they be great today? Well, we are at the 10 o'clock hour, and now we're going to turn it over to you all. I know you all have burning questions and desires, and we're going to open up the discussion. The first hand that I did see, it was Sister Sarah Nation. Sister Sarah Nation, she works for the Hernando Sun. She also attends Christian Springfield Baptist Church regularly. She is in the community. She has a heart of gold. Let us just give her some of our attention.
Thank you. I hope I can live up to that introduction. So you were talking about, you know, stopping this epidemic, but before we can stop it, I think, and you folks have touched on it. First of all, you have to find out why do kids and even adults, young adults, and I don't like to use the word kids. My dad had this thing. He said, kids are baby goats. You do not call. So I try to say child or young person or young lady. But so why did they do drugs? And the consensus was low self-esteem, but also a sense of adventure. Somebody might not have low self-esteem, but they just want to, wow, this is going to be exciting. Whether it's racing cars, whether it's, you know, drinking alcohol, whether it's, you know, jumping off a tall building or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? They think that
Thrill seekers.
Exactly. They think that they're invulnerable and they're curious. And on the other side of that coin is boredom. So they're probably bored and they want to have a sense of adventure. So, like somebody said, find activities, positive activities for them to do. And I think also, I think it was Reverend Ailes that said, fear of standing out, and you want to be part of the crowd. You don't want to be singled out as, oh, well, that person's you know, he's a sissy, or she's not cool, etc. So part of that is wanting to be accepted. We all want to be accepted. I want to be accepted among my peers and, you know, among other people. And then also rebellion, just, you know, I
Mm.
can't stand the world, I can't stand my parents, I can't stand adults, so I'm just gonna
Mhm.
rebel and do whatever, you know, is a sign of rebellion. So
Mhm.
that's just my 2 cents. I had a couple questions, but I don't wanna take up everybody. I don't wanna-
That's all right. We're
Somebody
gonna,
else.
come back to your question. We're gonna come back to your question. This is good.
You know, one thing, I of course work in the news media, I cover the government a lot. And, I wonder if you are going to, when you interact with like local elected officials, you know, because they often control the purse strings. One tendency I see, and I was talking to Mr. Burnett about how I was serving the Marine Corps. And the NCO manual always said leaders fix the problem, not the blame. But you often run into elected officials, and they want to fix the blame. They want to blame open borders and policies of certain elected officials they don't like. You know, and I think sometimes you have to refocus elected officials and say, listen, I'm not interested in whose fault it is. I want to fix it. You know, when your car breaks down, you don't want to blame the guy in the Chrysler plant or the Ford plant. You want the mechanic to replace the water pump. You know, and that's what I mean. With, you know, based on what I see, a lot of times elected officials, they'll get up there and say, well, it's her fault. You know, because she's the wrong party. And so, I mean, that is something that, you know, I see this at almost every government meeting I attend when they're talking about a problem, like young people and drugs and thrill seekers, as Sarah said. It's the fault of, it's somebody's fault. And, you know, I get so sick of hearing it. Sometimes I want to go up to these elected officials and hit them over the head. Because, although you probably shouldn't do that, violence, of course, is not a solution. But I will say, you know, you're talking about boredom. I was reading a report from the sheriff's office that these 3 kids were kicking doors. And one of the things they said was, we're bored. Now, they all got arrested, they all got released to their parents. And, you know, it is I know, you know, I was a teenager once and I was bored. It is a problem, you know. I remember early in the Clinton years, there was this thing they called midnight basketball. Find an activity, and you know, nobody wants to open the gym at midnight or whatever. But you know, maybe I know that when in Brooksville, there was a gentleman who was the Parks and Rec superintendent, David Howell. Mr. Howard, I don't know what happened. I like him. He donated a PlayStation 5 to like the boys and girls. The kids could play video games. I'm sorry, Sarah. The youths could play video games. Because that's what they're into. Or maybe they're into basketball, or you know, maybe they want to play football, or you know, play football or baseball. And maybe they don't want to do it like at hours when we adults are awake. You know, I'm just saying, you know, just maybe focus on things. Because, you know, I mean, I grew up and in the 70s, kids did drugs. It was marijuana, speed, heroin, whatever. You know, and because they were bored, because there was nothing to do. And we adults, we said, oh, there's plenty to do. You know, you can watch C-SPAN or go to a government meeting, you know, or you know, watch the World Cup. And they're like, hey, look, you're on drugs, you know. But you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly what you're saying. I want to first of all,
Vincent Saputo.
thank you for being here today. First of all, thank you for your service. As a side, do you have your discipline?
Oh, no. I served 4 years.
Okay.
I got out 40 years ago.
Okay. And the reason why I'm saying this, whenever we run for veterans, we have a telecommunication conference every Thursday at 12 p.m. specifically for veterans. We have a mental health piece for them, and then we help them get all their disability benefits.
I left the Marines in 1982,
We have people who,
No disabilities.
we have people who have been out for 55 years, and now they're 100%, and they're getting $50,000 a year.
I just want to say, not every veteran is disabled. I served in.
Yeah, but you were a Marine, so you made sure.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, big brother. Hold on. That's another, that's gonna be the third summit. So the second summit, we're gonna mend prostate. The third summit is gonna be veterans coming back with
Mental health.
and mental health, all right? Come on, you have your hand up.
All right, Coach Jack Burnett. Okay, Coach Jack Burnett, since he brought that up, I'm gonna give you, right now, we got 3 veterans in here. You got, the most empowered veteran in here is the Army. I know Marine gonna say they is, so I'm gonna make a point to you, triangle point. Then you got the Air Force, with Dr. Rob over there. And also, what you gotta remember in politics, my thing with politics, people is over politics. People is over politics that create all in this together. So you have to let your elected officials know that they work for you. You don't work for them. So by being people over politics, you're gonna cover everything. And on the Queen that we should have answered, we got about 2, 4, all these queens in here. We got one queen that I do know got a doctorate degree. So we need to recognize our degrees that we got and the colors that we are. And we right now we got about 3 doctors in here. We got 1 female and 2 males. Dr. Rob, let me give you your prop for the day. And also you got to remember, unconditional love. Unconditional love is very good, and love unconditional. Okay, remember those. And also to communicate, don't go out your circle. The most powerful thing in the world, people around you in your neighborhood could boost you up, get somebody that you can't get to. It's gonna be your greatest success around in life with little girls. If you got good people in the neighborhood, they looking at you all the time, how you carry yourself, you can help them out. And you also got different programs. You just got a program here not too long ago that could get grants to help the program. If you want to do something, schools have money to do different things. So you go over the activity, they can get you grants and get you money in there. Schools have that money for that. And I only gotta know that because you know I'm involved in everything. Besides, the veteran is most important with my vicinity, but remember, we all got a mental problem. We just learned this because most black men would not go for that. That's right. Service, but now we are introducing them by educating them to see a therapy and relax the nerve and just have somebody to talk to. Sometimes you can talk to your buddy and y'all just come up with it, but you got to be educated and you got to be able to. The most important thing that I know, and not just talking, sometimes you got to listen. People that want to come to you and bounce off when you don't respond to it, but just listen, and you can get more respect for them. Okay, and so I know y'all think I go a long time, but I ain't gonna go too much. The doctor trying to help me up there Thursday. You want to know what I'm doing and stuff.
Excellent. Give Coach Jack a hand. And we do have.
What is the name of your organization? You have an organization?
That thing ain't working.
Well, yes, it was.
No, that ain't working right now. I'm in the little technology on stuff too there, but that night wasn't working, so that's why I had my demand for it. I don't have an organization. I'm part of the Frederick County Lodge. I'm part of the Veteran. I'm part of NAACP. I'm part of just about everything in Huntington County. I used to be the representative for the non-express. I used to be the president, but my lifestyle changed. I had to do self-care for myself. And self-care means I need to be going out a lot. So that killed out some of them other things I was doing.
And he is the president also of the French Public Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't want to say that because that's what you think I'm doing to me.
And I do want to just recognize Mrs. Yanni's mom, Demetria. She's here this morning, so this is her mom. This is where she gets it from. And she's also the president. You want to talk to Sam and talk about your organization?
Hi, my name is Demetria Clemson, and I am the president of Safe Spaces of Tampa Bay. What we do is advocate for kids or young youth and some older adults with disabilities.
Excellent.
Who can't see themselves, need help with life skills.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for developing that organization. That's another population. Maybe that's the fourth summit, right? We can address students with disabilities, right? Disabilities don't always mean someone with crutches or in a wheelchair, right? So excellent. So all right, so we're at the end of our give our panelists a round of applause. Final remarks, and then we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back. We have our very own Dr. Rob Cunningham. He's going to be our keynote for a couple of moments, and then we're going to give you back the rest of your day. Is that all right? Final remarks, and we'll start from Ms. Rotaro, and we'll end with the dean.
Well, at this time, when it comes down to final remarks, this is all that's taking place. I'm about to be a marketer, so.
All right.
But I hold on
That's
until
good.
the end to be a marketer. I have a few different things to share that's taking place with some of the organizations I'm a part. When you talk about the whole, the drugs, I know for myself that ever since I was a kid, ever since I was little, I'll never forget when they say do not do drugs in school. That's something that has stuck. Do not do drugs. And
Yes,
then, the whole point of us communicating, just straight up, tell the children young. I have a 7-year-old, I have, a 3-year-old baby, and it's like, yuck, make it this, what I'm saying? Everything that you can possibly think of that's gross, make certain that you instill that in them while they're young, that it is yucky, it is gross, and whatever it can cause you to happen to your body that you don't want, So instill that in them early, that it is just yucky, okay? And for our girls, again, we're queens, we're beautiful. And just be sure that they are aware of that. And my son, he knows that he's handsome. And, I heard him talk about, getting them involved. But that's one of the reasons why he's in summer camp. Because he likes the games, we like to be on videos. You will not be on a video game all day. No, I'm sorry. You're not gonna do that. So they're at the skating ring now.
All right.
Say, give them something to do. They go on field trips. So, getting them involved in stuff.
Thank you.
So I wasn't here for everything, and I apologize for being late. I was at the Pasco campus in
That's quite all right.
in Newport Richie. I drove over there, and then I realized it's 9 o'clock. Hey, I called Dr. Ailey when I realized, and I Luke scooted it on over here. So my final words that I would like to say is we have to provide our youth with a sense of purpose. We have to create a loving environment, a community. See, when I was younger growing up, we had a sense of community where if you did something wrong or something, then my mom was gonna spank you. I don't care who you were, what color you were, or whatever. People want their kids to my mom. My mom was the neighborhood spanker. They want their, so we got it. But not only did we get it, but so did the neighborhood kids. So you knew better than to show off or act up because you knew Miss Childress was gonna get you. Somebody was gonna get Miss Childress, and Miss Childress was gonna get me. So, and all the kids came to our yard to play. My mom had 14 kids. My mom and dad had 14 kids. And so there was never 14 at home at a time. They were all 2 or 3 years apart. So there was always 5 or 6 of us at home. So all the kids gravitated because we couldn't go out of the yard. We had about an acre of land. We couldn't go out of So all the kids gravitated to our house, and if they did something wrong, Miss Connie would bring Janice down the house by her hand and say, she did such and such, and my mom would say, okay, pull your clothes down, go get Miss Switch, pull your clothes down, come on, and she was gonna get spanked on her booty. So we have to get back to the days of community where everybody was involved. Yeah, we have to reduce the stigma. There are stigmas that are involved with life situations. We have to reduce the stigmas, eliminate the barriers, let kids know that it's okay to talk about it. When we, back in the day, there were certain things that were taboo for us too, that we didn't talk about. Like women having a menstrual cycle, we didn't talk about that. Or liking a boy. We didn't, you don't like no boy, shut up. We have to eliminate that stigma. And as Rod says, empty those emotional buckets that we have.
Tell me speech now. Tell me speech.
We have to do that. We have to make sure that that we maybe do some workshops that include the kids so that they'll know that. And those are my final synopsis. I'm gonna shut up before I step on somebody.
No, that's all right. We sure know your mother and dad wasn't. They wasn't bored at all. Huh? They had 14 kids. We know exactly what they were doing.
Yes, they were. They were biblical.
Amen. Final remarks.
For me, I don't really have anything, but I will say that I just want to help out the community like I supposed to. And good thing Reverend now snatched me from a situation that happened in Wiki that I'm glad I moved out from. God also spoke to me saying that, Yanni, it's your time to shine, and it will be your time to shine now, because it's not just me out there. There's a lot of student activists out there as well. Like the young lady, the MLK granddaughter, she's out there preaching just like I am. So I just want to be out there for the community and my loved ones.
It's your time.
Yes.
Your time.
Thanks for having Florida Department of Health here in Hernando County. And then I guess the final statement I would have, aside from education and with education and community, it goes apart with what I'm gonna say. I guess in all things you gotta do it with love. There's a lot of things you'll do and you'll say things and people won't receive it because they know you're just out to say whatever. But if you do it in love and they know that you actually love somebody and receiving that from, especially with your community, you know, they know they'll receive it from you because they know that you love them. So reach out to your people and talk to them and get the help that they need or you need yourself. And then yeah, but I don't know if we're supposed to say this now, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But we have because you had said you don't know, we're gonna say, but this is part of it, I guess. Because we are having a mental health day since it is a part of our discussion too.
Now you're getting into my speech, okay?
Oh, you're
let me say it first. Let me say my first. We have a mental health first aid training that's coming up, and it's free of charge in August. I just had to say I took that prerogative right there before you steal my.
No, it's good. Ours is in July, so we're not stepping on anything.
Okay, all right.
July.
Wrap it up.
It's next week, Monday, July 29th. From 1 to 3 in our classrooms, A and B at the Spring Hill location, 7551 Forest Oaks Avenue. So we'll have 3 speakers have confirmed right now. I'm just waiting on the last one. I'll have the actual flyer to send out today to everybody. They've been sending out their information, but we got to go through our marketing and everything. So I don't have the official one, but we have 3 speakers that are confirmed, and we have yoga. And hoping I'm going over to Benes, and we have massages also for the community and for our department. So it'll be on July 29th, 1 to 3 p.m. at our Spring Hill location. So mental health discussion and presenters and activity.
So let's do this. I'll promote you, we'll do yours, and then we'll both work on mine coming up in August. Ours is free. Ours is
Oh, that's free too. Free too.
Ours is a free training.
Right.
But at the end, individuals get certificate in mental health first aid. So they will be mental health first aid providers. They will be able to intervene with someone who is having a mental health crisis or, experiencing an overdose. Okay, so we can talk about that.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to say that I took the class and I have my certification from them, and it's an excellent class.
Who was your instructor? Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Who
Who was your instructor?
Who was my instructor was
Rod Cunningham.
the wonderful Dr. Rod Cunningham.
Who was your instructor?
Who's your instructor?
Rod Cunningham.
I think we were, yeah, we were together.
Oh, yeah, right. We had over there. Right. Excellent.
I don't know that I have much to add. I love the answers of community and leading with love. I would just say that it takes a village.
Yes.
When it takes a village, when you operate within your village, you're gonna have community, you're gonna have love. But I think we have to get out of the mindset that our family begins and ends with the people that are living within the four walls of our house.
That's right.
I said, so once we start thinking beyond that mindset, that know that your neighbor is your family, your community members are your family, I think that we would start treating people like, well, let's say people look at politics.
Yes.
When we start treating people like they are family, when we start treating people with love, we'll see some of these issues be addressed in a healthy way. So again, Dr. I appreciate you bringing this to our campus here at PHSC. I appreciate it. We look forward to the next one.
All right. Thank you so very much. Give the panelists a round of applause. Very well, exceptionally well. Just have to thank Provost Wilson also in his absence for providing space. Just thank State College and the president as well for allowing us to continue the work that we've been doing for the past 4 years. Now we're going to just take a break for 5 minutes or so. We're going to come back at 10:30. We're going to have our keynote speaker. You're going to hear from Reverend Dr. Rod Cunningham.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I heard you say something about fundraising or
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
figure out how to fundraise.
I am wanted to do that, but like I might need permission if I can, like get it or there. It's just that I don't really know if you have time to
Let me have your phone number.
Okay.
Well, you change phone number, should I say?
Yes,
All right, because,
Any kind of materials you have.
FAMU, NAA, Pasadena, we do fundraising. We got one particular one that we've been doing for some
Time,
time.
date, place, et
It seemed to work.
What do you do?
For the scholarships, because we give scholarships to students, current ones there. in
Almost
college, and also,
million.
ones that,
Put it
we
right.
attend to families.
Do you have a card?
so I have.
Your name on a business card? Or you just
Yes.
drive by now?
Sure.
You apply by
You can get mine by the 853.
And I did not bring it. And I just printed them out
You bring a
yesterday.
business card, you can come to the summit. How you gonna let you know?
I literally just.
You said Ayana?
And then it was like that. You got one of the biggest speakers in here. You know, you got it.
And then you can use my last name if you want to.
CL.
Somebody they were working with. He mentioned this last thing, but it was somebody.
Oh, that's how.
Because it's not in the final.
Wait, I did right, I did.
No, you would.
Don't let charge $6,000, but
After the end, she said, what?
I wouldn't say.
so,
And I think it's put my name wrong in the paper, so.
That's mine. It's 850. That's mine. 321. 329-7950.
Yes, ma'am, I work with returning citizens.
And,
we work together as one class.
Because
Okay.
nobody wants to do it. I know.
And then I thought when I
And then I was rushing to get here, and my mom saw it for air breakfast. I didn't want to eat breakfast from her. So I'm like, yeah, kind of a
What do I have in my bag? You wanna come with me? Let's see what you want out of my bag. I got some stuff here. We still got, yeah, we got a minute. Oh, shit.
Good. Bro, let's do it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
We're trying to get something now. They have, for we're working our best to try to get things done, but the county commissioners, they don't have anything ready for the homeless. You know, they might have a few little things individually.
You know, it's really funny. One of my articles.
I don't wanna mess with this, but, oh, there. You gotta make it big. Oh. Yeah. Then in the.
Dean, you're not leaving before the speech, right?
I'm gonna go. Yeah,
no,
I was gonna say, I will say.
These folks have quoted me. He quoted me. And they heard my speech over a year ago, so I'm saying, it's powerful. If you have children, you gotta hear it.
I want to speak to you about it for this microphone.
Okay, all right, because you got your purse, so I'm watching. Watch.
I will be back for it.
All right, sounds good.
Mentally challenged, I don't know what the word, special needs, okay.
See, I'm not the only one kicking you out.
Homeless this, homeless that, and homeless that. I think it's in name only, because I don't know that it's really being done in Fernando County, except for two organizations that are nonprofit, aren't affiliated with the government.
And see, that's what the problem is, impacts on Hernando.
And they can't seem to get any kind of help.
Does Hernando County have a homeless coalition? But they don't really.
I haven't really heard anything about it. And I know a lot of what's going on in the community. And the only reason I know about
No, you can bring them card.
I think you got one.
Join it.
No,
I understand that. I would enjoy
and she started this just for volunteers, collecting food, collecting clothes, and their goal is to.
What's the name?
It was,
Make you work, come back.
well, anyway, I can look it up real quick, but the thing is, about a year ago, the organization was grown, and there were people in the organization that wanted it to go in a different direction. She wanted to, so she left the original organization that she started another one, and I don't know how this was announced, so now there's two, and hopefully they're,
All right, you ready?
working together, they're not working.
Get started.
But
I know,
the problem is that
I know you like to start on
we
time and
have
end on
one
time.
homeless shelter that I know, well, two. One is Jericho Road.
Yeah, I know, I see it.
That's- And then there's domestic abuse. That's the way that people are gonna do. So there's nothing for women, and this woman, Ellen, in fact, her last name is Paul, her last name is Paul, right? Paul. Her name is Ellen Paul. She took homeless people into her house, and then she had another house that she had kind of inherited from her ex-husband, but they, you know, they were still friends. So she started using that house, and she even got my friend John to take him homeless. And that's the way she's been getting them into places. And then it's all been through either helping them get money to support rent, but nothing that's government owned, government run, or it doesn't even have to be government run. In fact, hopefully it wouldn't be, but get the money to build it. And they're talking about building these tiny homes. I don't know, you know if that's gone anywhere? The tiny home program?
Deadline can, getting reports and.
Oh, yeah, they'll study.
Writing.
Study for 2 years.
I think the weight of the regulations equals the weight of the convention. They're writing like 6,000 pages of rules.
All you have to do is, I mean, it's not easy.
I'm gonna go use the restroom.
It's not that easy.
You have a car?
Yes. And.
I'll write that.
So, yes, like.
They
I
gonna
mean,
get
first of all,
you.
one of the setbacks.
What do you got for me? What
Yes.
We can talk about it later.
Yeah, I mean.
Wow, look at all those stripes.
Air Force.
The last time I saw somebody with that many stripes, he was screaming at me.
That's why you need that money. That's why you need that percentage. You gotta scream that all the time.
How much did he left on the table?
Let me, you want me to add up for him?
Yeah, add up for you know.
So,
He left on the table.
had you got your 100% when you first got out, and since you hadn't done it in 40 years, you left $4 million on the table.
Damn, all right. I ain't want to get it.
I don't want their money.
Listen. You are a Marine, there is something wrong with you. Let me go ask your wife. Let me go ask your wife if something wrong with you. They'll still tell you, right? You try to tell your husband, like,
I don't think he's married. Smart.
you see, you're single. You should be married. It's the Marines that made you single.
There was a whole lot of women that after I left the Marines, who all had one word to say, no.
So when you go to the VA, you can say, listen, I never married because the Marines made me. What A, B, C, D, F, G. Listen.
No, what about, I heard something about if you're a veteran, you could automatically get $500 if you were honored with discharge.
Well, there is like a retirement piece like that you can do to get money, but the disability is much better. Right. So depending on your job, you can get disability just because when it comes to the job you held
My
while you're
son
in.
was in the Navy. He's been for 2 years. And let me tell you, I think anybody that went through what he went through, he had some PTSD. He never saw combat, but he was on an aircraft carrier. He had one of the worst jobs on the ship because he had screwed up and washed out nuclear waste. Why? I don't know. But the recruiter is so he was a fire damage control person. And he actually saw somebody commit suicide. I don't jump with the ship. And, it was just a real, and then he was
Wait, so is he getting a percentage?
No.
Just that alone, as long as he can document and you can go back and maybe get a buddy statement like, yes, this person did die by suicide during this time while he was in,
Right.
you can get a percentage.
It is 10:30.
It's 10:35. All right, let's get going. Let's get it going. All right, well, good morning, everyone. It is 10:35. We're going to go ahead and get it started. As you can see, my name is Dr. Rod Cunningham, and I'm thankful to be here in front of you today. So just a couple of years ago, I had hair. As you know, when you shave your head, you have to grow a beard. When you grow a beard, you got to do push-ups. And so that's what I've been doing. All right, and so did Air Force. I was actually 30 years. Did 30 years in the Air Force. So just aim high. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about elevate, transforming your emotional pain and turning it into purpose. Taking your emotional pain and turning it into purpose. If we have the full time to get to that point, because before I can talk about the head, I got to talk about the heart, right? Because a lot of things we talked about up here is kind of what's wrong with you, and the question really should be, what happened to you? Because we all come here, if there's nothing wrong as far as physically or what have you, we come here with a clean slate. And then something happens. And those things that happen to us are things we cannot, what's the word I'm looking for? We cannot, what's the word I'm looking for?
Predict, control.
We cannot control. Thank you. It's the things that bother us the most that we can't control. That's why it bothers us. That's why it breaks our heart. So I want to know, what do you have in common with this gentleman right for you? What do you two have in common?
We work together at the department.
You work together, all right. Man, what do you have in common with this gentleman right here?
We work together on various projects.
All right, work
and he's on
together,
the
very-
board of
Board of directors, good stuff. I want to find out what we have in common at the heart level. Because if you lose your child here in America, and someone loses that child in Japan, what happens? It's the same heart. It is actually gripping to you. So I want to know what we have in common at the heart level. So I need everybody to stand. Everybody please stand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw 4 rocks. If the rock hits you, virtual rock, I mean, you look like, really? I'm going to throw 4 virtual rock. If the rock hits you, I want you to sit down, stay down, and look around and see who you have that in common with at the heart level. All right, first rock. If your biological parents ever divorced or were never married, have a seat. Biological parents ever divorced or were never married, have a seat. Look around and see who you have that in common with at the heart level. I would be seated myself. When my father died 2 weeks before I was born, he was 19, my mom was 15. This is what parental abandonment looks like. Again, these are the things that break our hearts. Rock number 2, sit down and somebody passed away who you truly love.
Everybody should be seated.
Even your pets. Even your pets. Look around and see who you have that in common with at the heart level. This is what loss looks like. The gentleman at the top left here, he's burying his wife. The gentleman behind him, he's burying his mom. You see the anguish on their faces. Where does all that emotional pain go in 30 days? Is it just disappeared?
Oh, it's still there.
Still there? 6 months?
Still there.
A year?
Still there.
Where is it? Is it at the bar? Are they chopping people in the throat to get on their nerves? Are they at the casino spending all the check? Are they just walking around angry? Are they having panic attacks?
Yeah.
Where does all of those emotions go? It definitely doesn't disappear, does it? Right? Rock number 3. If you've ever experienced trauma, if you've ever been in a bad car accident, ever been touched inappropriately, ever seen someone strike your mom, that is what we call trauma. Any kind of experience with personal violence, that is what we call trauma. That is the 3rd rock. This is what trauma looks like. 4th rock is what we call, if you were still standing. Some of you are still getting hit while you're seated. I would be getting hit because I got hit by all 4 rocks by the time I was 10 years old. 4th rock is what we call rejection. You've ever been constantly ridiculed, like the Marines. You've ever been picked on by a sibling and told that you were found in the garbage can.
Oh, Lord. What about if you did that?
But now you know that you traumatized your siblings. Right? So go back and apologize because your sister's still thinking about that.
Tell her that.
I mean, even someone born with big ears. Even I've learned recently, someone who's very short. They've been picked on and told that I won't date you because you're short and you're just short. That's rejection, y'all. Here's some other piece of rejection, bad breakup. Somebody rejected because of your handicap or your race. Tell you you're less than. What we call rejection. Also, if you didn't marry your high school sweetheart, it's rejection. What do you mean by that, Rob? When you gave your heart to her, you were 16, she gave her heart back to you. You didn't know the limit how you give your heart because you're just giving it. You don't understand this thing called love yet. We call that puppy love, right? But to you, as a 16-year-old, feels like real love. And so you gave it all. I mean, y'all started naming your kids. You started talking about your careers, all at 16. And 6 months later, not only is the heart connection broken, but she's going out with your best friend. And now you base every romantic relationship for the rest of your life from a 16-year-old. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. I could ask you who was your first boyfriend or girlfriend. You can tell me. I ask you who the third one. You're like, I don't know. You know about that first time that you gave your heart for real. All right. This is what rejection looks like. Why am I not good enough? Why don't they like me? Why don't they leave me alone? Why don't you love me? It's rejection. Now, here's what this is what she was talking about earlier. Miss Paul, thank you, Miss Julia. Everyone walks around with an emotional bucket. And as you were hit with the rock, your emotional bucket started to fill up. Right? Parental abandonment, shh. Loss of a loved one, shh. Trauma, shh. Rejection, filled. Right? And so what is the danger of a full bucket? Unresolved, any one of these areas, these 4 areas, can lead to a lifetime of anger, sadness, anxiety, depression, stress, even trust issues. Because, and so what is the danger of a full emotional bucket? Why is it so important to empty our bucket? Because a brick, I'll call it a brick of ice, call a significant emotional event, can come into your already full bucket and splash your emotions all over everyone that had nothing to do with your
It was real little, and you just tipped it over.
Tipped it over. Somebody can cut you off on the street, and you're going off. And 10 minutes later, you don't even remember them or what the car looked like. You know, forgot all about it, but you just blew a gasket because your bucket is full. You're going off on your spouse, you're bringing up old stuff that happened 10 years ago. Right? Full bucket. So this is that brick, right? So the idea is, so first of all, we need to understand something. Suicide. Suicide is not a one-off event. Suicide is a full bucket with the brick. That's why when you say, well, I didn't see it. I don't know. I don't know how this got by me. All you need to know is that they grew up with their grandmother, which means they were abandoned by both parents. All you need to know that they were touched inappropriately when they were in foster care. To know that now when grandma passed, that was the brick. If they were raped, that was the brick. If they were sometime even fired, that was rejection. That was the brick. So you're like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? I know he didn't do this because this girl broke up with him. I heard an actual story about down in Sarasota County. Young man was getting ready to graduate from high school. Girlfriend broke up with him. He died by suicide. And everybody go, oh my gosh, girl, he died over a girl. No, he died over a full bucket. The girl was just the brick. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Violence.
Yes.
Also.
You know, I wanted to say, because when you talk about suicide, I was reading about, this is, I'm gonna bring up the military. There was a writer named Evan Wright. He wrote a book, Generation Kill. It was made into an HBO miniseries. And I was reading in the Guardian, he died, 49 years old, he committed suicide. Married with children, but you know, the thing was, he was a youth, he was in one of these youth camps where they abused teenagers. He was not a good kid. And everybody thought he straightened his life out. And the other day, he's married with 2
Full
kids,
bucket.
he seemed happy, he's successful, financially, very well off, you know. The book, he was a writer for Rolling Stone, he followed Marines into Iraq. And, you know, and he just, look, I mean, I envy the man. He turned his experiences and now he committed suicide.
Well, Buck, I will tell you stuff, money does not empty your bucket. That is not the answer. Stuff and money. Houses, cars, material things, that is not the answer. Those things will not bring your money back. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, and that's why one of the actors, he said, I wish everybody could become a millionaire so they can see that this is not the thing. Right? It's not gonna fix your other stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Another thing which is up there is violence. When these people, these mass shooters, or even somebody that just goes, even kills one person. Oh, I never, it was a quiet.
Yes.
And it was just, there was something.
That anger. Yes, that anger.
Violent.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. So negative choices. See, we all have a baseline of what we do under high stress that we're not proud of. Now, I know I got a lot of grown folk in here today that would say, under high stress, Rob, my baseline is praying and reading the Bible. But tell me what y'all did when you were 21.
Oh,
Fight. So she was a fighter, right? She dealt with anger, so she was a fighter. What did you do at 21 that you're not proud of today? When you were highly stressed, baseline. I know your daughter's in here, but we did talk about transparency. Partier, all right, man. What about you? 21, high stress.
Man. Oh.
I honestly just I have always been like a quiet person.
So did you sleep? Did you cry?
What I do, I would go take a nap.
Take a nap and hope when you woke up it was better. At least you can think better, right? When you wake up. What about you? 21. What did you do?
Met a man who was 15 years older than me and was not even divorced and fell in love with him and got married.
Gotcha. So you're a little risky relationship behavior. Sir, what'd you do at 21?
Beer. That sounds
Beer.
exciting.
Beer. So he was a drinker. Any other drinkers in your family? Any other beer drinkers in your family when you were that young, like uncle or father or anyone like that? Mom? Oh, you were in the Marines?
No,
But I came up in the 70s, right? So we're talking about Budweiser.
I did drink. I mean, I stopped. Just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I knew when to stop. But I mean, I didn't become an alcoholic.
It's okay. Come clean now. I mean,
You know, about a few months later, you know, the job was more important to me than anything. I don't know, but it was, you know, when you're 21 and you're experiencing freedom. But yeah, and maybe, you know, doing a lot of exercise, walking around and thinking about what's going on.
Okay. Anybody else want to share what they did at 21 under high stress? That baseline. Because here's the dangers of a baseline. You want to go ahead? What you do at 21?
no, I'm talking about the young lady.
Oh.
She had a face, right? She's remembering about 21, right?
Yeah.
Probably ate a pie with dancing.
Yes.
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 Sweets.
Yes.
Ice cream always.
Eating.
Ice cream always satisfies.
Yes. Sweets, chips, chocolate. Right? So we all have this baseline. Here's the danger. We must understand what our baseline is then, what our baseline is now, because when the emotional, when the brick comes in, significant emotional event happens, it doubles. So right now, if under stress, you have 2 drinks, significant emotional event, you lose your mom, now you're gonna get drunk. If you used to go to the casino with $100, now you're blowing your whole check. If you used to smoke weed, now you're doing cocaine. Those significant emotional events, like all those rocks that I threw, those are significant emotional events. And then whatever your baseline is, double. So you need to understand about everybody in your household. What's your children's baseline? What's your spouse's baseline? Because what you want to do is, so let's say you have a spouse and they lose a parent. That's a very, very emotional time. You want to encourage that spouse to start to coming up with healthier things like jogging, right? Like working out. Otherwise, they're going to go back to the used to be 2 drinks, now they're getting drunk. But leave me alone. My mom just think about my mom, think about my dad. Just leave me alone. So you want to encourage healthy habits to change. My son is going through a divorce. He's 35. Right? So I'm on him. I let him come back, stay in the house, free. You met him, right? Met the grandkids. Free because I want to take that stress off of him. Because I don't want him going through, suicidal thoughts or anything like that, right? As it started getting tougher. And when you first break up, it's difficult as it goes along, and then the person starts doing little things to you, it gets a little rougher. And so we open our home to him so he can, get back on his feet. You don't have to pay a thing, son. The only thing that gets on my nerve though, when I go buy food and he eats it. You don't even check. Does this belong to anybody? I'm like, did you buy it?
He eats it all. Eats it all. You go for it, Miss Glover.
I go for it. Oh yeah, my wife. Oh yeah, that's great. I want to try that. But
That's the purpose of buying it. I wanted to try it.
Hey, this would be good.
Do you have another refrigerator? Another one?
Oh yeah, I know, right?
That's called unconditional love. Unconditional love. No,
There you go. But had I not been a mental health expert, I probably would have charged him. I probably would have kind of gave him a hard time, like, come on, man, man up, let's go. But being a mental health expert, knowing that this is a tough time in a person's life, that I needed to be kind. Yeah, I need to show unconditional love. All right, soft landing, provide a soft landing for him. So when he fell, his parents are right, or just like this, catch him in that net, kiss him on the forehead, put him down, and sit him back up. But I told you so. I told you to be careful. Catch him. But that's what our grown kids want. We got grown kids in here, raise your hand. Everybody with grown kids. This is the only thing they want from you. When they fall, they want your hands out like this with your neck. Catch them, put them down, kiss them on the forehead, send them back out in the world. They don't want to hear "I told you so." They want to know that home is a soft landing when the world is not. That they can at least get a soft landing here. They can at least come here and not be criticized. They can at least come here and feel love and kindness. All right? Any questions, any comments? Good? All right, so here's some of the things people have told me they do under high stress. Go shopping. We call that retail therapy. Right? Hit people. Excessive video gaming. Go to sleep. Cry or isolate yourself. Drink alcohol, yell, scream, and curse. Listen to explicit music. There are clean versions of the music, right? We want to hear the raw version. Eat junk food. Hang with the wrong crowd. Pornography. Go to the bar, the club, or the casino. Steal. That's what I used to do. I used to take stuff that belonged to me when I was in high school. I said that to a young lady about 2 years ago in Jacksonville. At a school, they had the whole thing. I was in the middle. And I said, yeah, I used to steal when I was in high school. The young lady took my purse and steal it off. She said, did you just say that? I said, I used to steal. At the time I was 54. I'm like, I'm 54 years old, I don't steal anymore. But she still moved her purse. But that's what I used to do. I used to chase women and I used to steal. Smoke marijuana or cigarettes, gossip, or cheat on your significant other. Did you know cheating is a mental health issue?
It is.
right? Because what you're doing is, let's say my dad died before I was born, but let's say he died when I was 10. And every now and again in my marriage, let's say I'm 35, and I get emotional about my dad. I miss my dad. And I'm telling my wife, you know, I miss my dad. And her response is, you know, you need to get over that, right? You still talk about that. You've been talking about that for 15, 25 years. Ever since I know you've been talking about your dad. When you gonna do something about that? You need to, man, she don't understand me. How you doing? She understand me at work.
Yeah.
My work wife. Right?
Yeah.
She understands me. She listens to
Your
me.
work wife.
My work wife listen to me.
Yeah, she listens to me. She's kind. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we end up after 6 months of that. I end up over here because my wife wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't provide me a soft landing during those times that my emotions, you know, reared its. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Making sense. So if you fix that, you go to therapy, you deal with that. Now you don't have to go and seek out comfort all over the place, seek out soft landings all over the place. It's like walking on the road, looking at everybody. Hey, you gonna give me a soft landing? Yeah, you gonna give me a soft landing? My wife ain't giving it to me. How you doing? How you doing? Right? All right. So we need to empty that bucket. That's the idea here. We need to empty that emotional bucket. So emptying the bucket is going to give you positive, help you make positive, good, rational choices for your life. No matter man's past, his future is spotless. So no matter what you did yesterday, or last week, or last month, all the shenanigans you pulled, today,
It's a brand new day.
it's a brand new day.
That's
right.
Today it stops. Right? Say you can do that. You can make your mind up today. And one of the ways you can do that is simply by saying, I can't see myself doing it. The reason we make poor choices is because we can see ourselves doing it. What if you just say something like, I don't see myself doing that. Like somebody said, ugh, you gotta make it ugh. You gotta make the drugs ugh. I don't see myself doing that. I don't see myself broken up people. I don't see myself, you know, doing it, messing with that lady. I don't see myself doing anything like that. So I don't see myself yelling at my spouse. I don't see myself losing my cool. And when you start to doing that, you actually convince yourself like, yeah, that's stupid. I ain't doing that. It can be just that simple. And you start today. All right, so it's a mindset shift, y'all. You have everything already inside of you to be highly successful. It doesn't matter how you grew up and who your daddy was and who your mama was. You have everything that you need. God has equipped you inside with everything you need. You just got to wake up every day and decide that I'm going to live my best life. That I'm not going to let the news determine how my day is going to go. I'm not going to let anybody determine how my day is going to go, even if I have a crazy supervisor. So because you already know what you're getting, you know. One thing I say about adults, we're consistent. And your supervisor's consistent. So why do you allow them to mess with you? They're consistent. So they're gonna come in, and then they're gonna come in, asking for that report, they're gonna be raising their voice. And all you have to do is say, okay, no problem, I'm not gonna. But I need such and such. Okay, got it. Right. And one more thing. Right.
You can smoke me.
So you're no longer letting the outside world control the inside. You are controlling the outside world.
And when you do that, they don't know how to respond.
Yeah. Yes.
I know, I've been practicing. And it works. They don't know how to respond. And I feel so good.
Yeah, you just like, and you can do that with a parent that gets on your nerves. Some of us parents that still get on our nerves. Okay, mom. And one more thing you need to do. Okay, mom. Roger that. Got it. And what? I got mom. Okay, anything else you need me to do? I'll be able to fix your computer. I'll be able to do this. I got it. Because you're going to do it anyway. You might as well agree. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
She say, come fix my computer, so you better get over there and fix our computer. Yeah.
Agreement is good in a situation you can agree and keep on going on. You can feel out a lot of stuff. I agree with that person. You don't know where you're going in until you perform it. So it's better to agree and disagree at a time. Go ahead and do it.
Well, what I'm saying though is saying if it's your supervisor, your leader, you're gonna have to do it anyway. So you may as well do it with that attitude. That's really what I'm saying. Right? You can get mad about it and call your spouse and say, I can't believe he asked me to do this. I gotta stay for 2 hours. Or you call your spouse and say, hey, I gotta stay for 2 hours. I got people, and I'll make it up. Totally different conversation. Totally different. We see it that you have control. It ain't your daddy's fault, ain't your mama's fault. I heard a guy say, call his 90-year-old mother, he's 60 years old, called his 90-year-old mother who raised 8 kids by herself and told his mother, I'm mad at you because when I was 16, you wouldn't let me play in the band. What the who? A 60-year-old man called his 90-year-old mother to tell her that he was still mad at her, but not letting him play in a band at 16. I said, Negro, you could have played for the Commodores at 18. Why are you blaming your mother because you didn't step up and do what you need to do? I'm just saying. Was I wrong with that? Was I wrong with that?
Yeah, you
No.
Yeah, you
He's blaming. He's holding on all these years, 44 years of holding on to something that his mama didn't let him do. But when he was 18, that's what he wanted to do. So if you that good as a band member, go create your own band at 18 when you out the house. But don't sit there and put that burden on your 90-year-old mother. She may have a few more days left, maybe a year. You really gonna burden her with something that happened at 16, bro? Come on. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Well, because sometimes you don't know what nobody's going through with, and take a time to have that passion for that person when you make a statement. Later on, you can forget that, but at that time, you made a haste in decision because she was 90 and he was 16 and he had on for so many
years. He was 90. He was 60. He was 60. When he called his mom.
Right, he was 60, but he still had that love in it. Ain't no but. We can disagree on it, but we can come out and agree.
But my point is he should have forgiven her a long time ago so he can make his own way in life.
His mom might have a very good reason for her not letting him join the band.
Yeah,
that's right.
And they should have talked about that. Yeah, they should have talked about that years.
But he's holding on to it for 40 years.
But Dr. Rob, doesn't that speak to unresolved issues that individuals can still be experiencing?
We all have it. Everybody in here. That's why some people are defending that guy. We all have some things that. We all have some things that mom and dad didn't do right, didn't say right, and we remember it like very vividly as if it happened yesterday. And we can recite the whole thing. Sometimes we get a little off, and other people like, sis, that didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, it did. He loved you better than he loved me. You know, no, sis, it didn't happen that way. Dad loved us all the same, right? So we all have that, though. We have stuff that we hold on to. And the best way to get that out is to simply pick up the phone and call your children and say, have I ever said or done anything to you that you have not been able to get over? And then shut up. And they're gonna let you have it. Well, yeah, mom, when I was 14. Yeah, dad, when I was 16. And then your answer is, this is not your answer. Well, you know, I had just buried your mom and your grandma at the time. You know, when you become an adult, you're gonna make decisions you're not proud of. Well, you know, you can't blame me for things, you know, and you gotta grow up on. That's not the answer. The answer is three answers. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you unconditionally.
I didn't want to take that away from you. I know where you were going. We heard all this stuff all the time. I was trying to do a different platform, but I know you're going to come right back to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when you do that, it wipes the slate clean. Whether you do it with your children, your siblings, your parents, right? It wipes
Spouse.
the slate clean. Spouse? Very good. Spouse. All right. So this is how we should be able to make up every day. Right, this is on our flyer every week for the last 4.5 years. We do the Lifeline call every Thursday
At 9 a.m.
at 9 a.m. for the last
Everybody
4.5
wants
years.
to join in.
And we have not changed this picture. This is the picture on our flyer. It's been on there for 4.5 years. He's never come back to change the flyer, change the picture on the flyer. No, because it's every day to be. All right. So first, there's 3 temporary ways to interrupt your negative thoughts. So we all have negative thoughts. Let's say you're driving down the street, you look up, you see a billboard, and it's a McDonald's billboard, and you're triggered. Why would you be triggered by a McDonald's billboard? Because your ex broke up with you at McDonald's. And so you always remember that, right? Or somebody jumped you after the football game at McDonald's, right? And so you see that billboard, you're automatically triggered, negative thoughts just came up, and whoever sees you next gonna get it.
Oh,
Right? And so what we can do is interrupt those thoughts by doing 3 things. One is we can do breathing exercise. So we can take 3 deep breaths. For the sake of time, I won't take the 3, but I'll take 1. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Let it out, right? Do that 3 times. At the end, put your hand over your heart and spirit. And it'll totally settle your spirit. It's like resetting the cache on your website, on your web. Hit the little button. Regenerate. Your mind just regenerates. So that's one way that you can do that. Pattern interruption is just being a little silly, right? I like to be a little silly. I remember when making our fraternity, and we hop up and down and we bark and all that stuff, and so we have fun, right? So pattern interruption is natural for us, but I also like to sing a song called "Push It" by Salt and Pepper. But I changed the name to "Switch It." Switch it. Switch it. Switch it.
Switch it real good.
You're funny. Bam. All right. So that will now, whatever's on your mind, it just went away. Because there's a pattern in that. And the last one is self-care. Self-care is so important. It is so, you mentioned self-care earlier. It is so important. Yeah. It is so important that you should do it every single day. Whatever your self-care is. Every day. And it shouldn't cost you money. So I want to hear about, want to get your nails done in self-care. It is. But there's some free stuff you can do too. When you wake up, you gotta go pay for stuff.
So since you say don't pay money, so that means you be like, okay, Mom, you got some friend or whatever, y'all gonna give me a donation for my nails today. So that's part of my self-care. You said don't pay for it, so you
want to get somebody else to pay for it. We want you to do things that won't cost you or break the bank. So that's all these things will not cost you to break the bank. Maybe a little gas if you want to go to the beach or what have you, right? But do it every day. So my self-care is working out as well as music. So what if I work out with music? Oh man, my frequency then goes sky high. See, my wife and I, we studied the law of frequency, the law of attraction, the law of vibration. And so we try to vibrate at a 10 every day. Mm-hmm. So I check her frequency in the morning. When I wake up, I dig deep. So I wake up at 5 a.m. and I dig deep. And I come up, "Good morning, sweetheart." And she says, "Good morning, my king." I said, "Oh, today's gonna be a good day." We're gonna be flirty, we're gonna be touchy-feely 30 years later in the day, and we still crazy about each other. And it's because we keep a high frequency on purpose, right? So what happens if I wake up at a 5 and she's at a 10, and I haven't come up to a 10 within the first 2 hours? What do you think's gonna happen?
You're gonna bring her down.
She's gonna come down and meet me. And she's gonna say, "What's wrong with you, Rod? Why are you acting like that? You know, the kids are coming over, the grandkids are coming over, they're gonna think you're mad at them." Now I went from a 5 to a 3 because that shit got on my nerves. So now I'm down here. And when you at a 3, that's when you really start bringing up old stuff. Remember 2 years ago when you said this, you hurt my feelings. Remember this? And you gonna make me some coffee? Of course I'm making coffee. I make you coffee every day. Well, you can really we doing that today? We're really doing this today? So what we do, we recognize when we do that. So we said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Whoever's at a 10 stays at a 10, leave the other one up. How do you do that? You have to know your whole family self-care, and you recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm at a 5, she says, honey, your diaper is low today. Everything okay? Yeah, honey, everything. But have you worked out yet? If they haven't worked out, then you go just work out 30 minutes. And she knows when I come back, I'm gonna be like, hey, baby, I'm gonna come kissing her. And right now I'm just dragging. Right? So go work out. So take my quick 30-minute workout, I come back in, energy's through the roof. So imagine if you work for an organization where there's 500 people and at least 4 of them get on your nerves. Mm-hmm. And imagine if everybody in that organization did their self-care that morning and came to work, how different would the atmosphere be? Mm-hmm. Every day, do it. All right. So real quick, I know I'm over time, so I can run through these 5 steps to emotional wellness, run through them in 1 minute each. Spirituality. That's the number one that's the number one spigot to empty your emotional bucket. Mm-hmm. Right? You have to connect with you and your God. Figure out who you are inside of you that is good. Right? So everybody, if you don't believe in God, then connect with the universe. Mm-hmm. Understand that you ain't controlling nothing. That's right. Right? So align yourself with everything that is good. Step number 2 is forgiveness. It's something that people struggle with the most. You got to forgive everybody that's ever hurt you in your entire life. But Dr. Cunningham, you just don't know what they said to me, what they did to me. I can't forgive them. Not forgiving them is like just carrying all this weight around everywhere that you go. And when you forgive them, that weight is lifted. You're carrying this emotional weight. Especially when you're looking for somebody, like if I run into him, I'm gonna hit him over the head with a baseball bat. Fight. And you may never see that person, but you're constantly triggered by the McDonald's sign. And then you got your bat, and 40 years go by, you don't even see him, but yet you are always on the edge. And that means you weren't your best self. That means the outside world was controlling the inside. You gotta forgive it all. Okay? Number 3 is counseling or therapy. I literally go to therapy every time I lose somebody who I care about. Even if I haven't seen them in 5 years. You have a cousin, hadn't seen them in 5 years, and you hear they're sick, and next thing you know, they passed away. I go to therapy. Because that was my cousin. I'm a big cousin, he's gone. And here's why. I'll be sitting, I work from home, on my own business. I own a publishing company. I help people write their first book. Yes. And so I could be working on the computer, and then all of a sudden the status hits me. Right? My mentor's gone, my cousin's gone, my friend's gone, my friend lost his mom. And I'm like, my wife say, okay, you okay? Because now my frequency is low. She picks up on it, right? You good? I just don't feel like working right now. I'm just gonna go sit on the couch. I put my blue blanket on, left hand in potato chips, right hand on the remote control. How long do I stay there? A day, a week, a month, a year? Right? I'm the only breadwinner in my family. So if I'm not working my business, we don't eat. How long can I stay in a state of depression? Can't afford to. Right? So I say my left hand is a potato chip. Your left hand may be in cognac, marijuana, cocaine, right? Casino, club,
Sex,
pornography. Right? So we have to get that. We have to take care of that right away. Don't sit with it. But just don't wait till you depressed for 3 months, 4 months. Your kids are affected. Your legacy is affected. Go get some therapy. All I need is about 1 or 2 sessions of therapy. After I lose somebody, I talk to my therapist, and and we talk through it, and and I'm good. And I'm off the couch and back to work. Okay? So get that therapy, get that counseling. Also journaling. Write that book, write that poem, write that movie. I can help you write that book, right? I got you on that. I wrote 3 books myself. My wife is getting ready to finish hers. I have 25 clients who are writing their book, a lot of PhDs, MDs. I got Senator Roussard. I'm doing his book. Amazing, right? If y'all don't know who he is, he was actually, how do I say? He was a substance abuser.
Yeah, he has a story.
He has substance misuse.
In fact, we can invite him on the next one.
Incredible story.
Yeah.
When I read his story, I was like, this could easily be a movie.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But every time you thought he was you're like, okay, he's really gonna straighten up now. And you breathe it, he's back at the drug. He's back. It's amazing. But he never lost his practice law during that time. Never arrested. So once he got cleaned up, they went back, practiced law again, and went to NAACP and won that, and then won state representative and state senator. Yeah, so it's an amazing story. So I can help you write that book, write a poem, write a movie, write a song. You can even draw or paint it. You're a painter. All right. And the last one is purpose. Purpose has nothing to do with you and everything to do with why is somebody else's life better because you live.
Glory.
Right? Purpose. Volunteering. He's everywhere. He's volunteering. He's in the community. He's doing stuff for people that he know that, he won't get a financial reward for, but he'll get his reward either here or in heaven. Right? What you do with people coming back into the community, right? Who were incarcerated. Teachers, educators, they're doing this because they love it, not for the money, because they can make a whole lot more money from doing something else.
Or they can make some money.
Right? And so people do this for the love of people. I do the call with him that we've been doing for 4.5 years every Thursday. I do the veterans call right after that at noon. I don't get paid for that. We've been doing it for 2.5 years. We brought $1 million into the family's household from the VA who wanted to file claims. So those are the things that we do. And then I'll speak. I normally charge $6,000 to speak, but I'll speak. Like I told him, I'll go ahead and come and speak for him because my convention clients pays me the $6 grand. So that gives me plus my book stuff. That gives me the opportunity to still go out and serve and speak for free in some places. Don't call me about the college though. I know y'all got money. It ain't free. No, I heard him say we can get it for free. Actually, colleges are my clients. So I do get paid to go into Miami-Dade College. A lot of the community colleges all over Florida are my clients. Okay? All right, Miss Jessica White is a client.
I know, but you're gonna be invited by Shawna Kincaid.
And I give this speech to colleges all the time. I was actually giving this speech at Black Brown College now every year for the last 5 years, except for the COVID year. All right, purpose. There is purpose in your pain. You can tutor kids, you can work with seniors, you can coach youth sports, or even the homeless. So when I'm talking to teenagers, I say, who in here can read? Everybody goes up. There's a second grade in your elementary school who can. Go up to your principal and say, hey, I would love to come in on Wednesdays, go in the library, help a young person learn to read. That's purpose. Right? Who can throw a football? Who can catch football? Who can run football? Or basketball or volleyball? There's a 9-year-old little girl in your neighborhood that doesn't have anybody to help them learn how to perfect their sport. Every Saturday, take some phones out, help that kid raise up their level in the sport. That's giving back. All right, so we all can do that. All right, so this is the last slide here. These are the 4 areas that causes emotional pain or emotional decline: parental abandonment, loss of a loved one, trauma and rejection, If any of these things happen, you have to do all 5 of these every time. You lose someone you love, even your pet, you gotta write a book, you gotta go to therapy. I'm telling y'all, you gotta do it all, right? But what I need you to see here as well is that this is surrounded by what?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. This is surrounded by unconditional love. You have to practice unconditional love every day, right? Loving everyone. Now, we got into a whole discussion. We were there at the Black Brown College Now Summit of the Convention Center about unconditional love. You know, can you really love a person unconditionally? I love you. I love you. 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 Unconditionally. You're a human being and you deserve unconditional love. And I love each and every one of you like a brother or sister, right? It's not romantic love. I ain't trying to hook up with y'all. Right? It's not romantic love. It's the love of another human being. And if we can do that, we can start respecting people for where they are and for what happened to them. Am I making sense? And so when we're able to do that, we don't allow other people to mess with who we are, to get us all spun out of shape. All right, thank y'all very much. Appreciate your time.
It gets better and better.
Give Ryder a hand, another hand. Great big round of applause once again. Great job. And I do want to echo her. Well, it gets better and better every single time. We are at the conclusion of our summit. Give yourselves a great big round of applause for coming here. I hope and pray that you all heard something today, seen something today, experienced something today that's a little bit more different than what you heard or seen or experienced. At this moment, I do want to bring up a very good friend of mine. He came all the way from Tampa. He is the imam to the Muslim connection down there in Tampa. Imam Hassan, would you come up and come on up, brother? Let me introduce you. Give him some love. Give him some love. And I'm gonna ask Dr. Rod to come back up as well. I don't do anything by myself, and I can't do anything by myself. We all together, we're we're a team. We were the ones that came together 4.5 years ago by, spoke about it. We created Lifeline University. We did it at the height of COVID. We wanted to do it so that we can bring people together and to throw a lifeline out to those who are dying. Like people are like literally dying during the COVID pandemic. And so Lord laid us on our heart to establish that. And we've been doing it for the past 4.5 years, addressing issues like opioid addiction, suicide, youth abandonment, and things like that. And so I just wanted to introduce Imam Hassan and give him a couple of moments to talk about what we're doing. Let us love on him. So give him a hand.
I do agree. It's better. I remember the first time I heard you do it, 2020. So it's always nice to hear. So I wasn't expecting to speak, but I will say I remember Dr. Jovan also from USF.
He was on today too. He was on the
yeah. Mm-hmm. So when we start with the opiates, I remember first meeting Dr. Els. They see a genuinity, a certain type of love, sincerity, and care they have for people and individuals. And anytime, it never fails everyone the Lifeline on Thursday at 9:30, you'll see his smile or I'll see his smile that like, and don't listen to anything anyone has to say. It's very laid back. And you talk about soft landing. It's not a theory, it's a reality. When you're around them and they really make you feel at home no matter what. We did a couple events also at Team C where I'm at. They were hosted and about recidivism. And those, who want to just them and how we can be a soft land for that. I learned a lot from them about the opioid crisis that's taking place. And I remember right before the pandemic, took place. We used to meet in person. I remember we did the survey for the suicide in Tampa, and I remember that was the first one I met. Rod used to have hair back then. I remember we used to discuss things, and we did. I remember we did a conference in Spanish that was translated into English. We did also one, and we did translate in Arabic. So we did multi-language, and we tried to there's as many people as possible and bring awareness of these topics and remove the stigma of perfection. I know we all have things that we're challenged with, and we're coming together to help each other grow. And that mindset he talks about, if you come on Lifeline, I encourage you to come, do this once a month, twice a month. It really helps grow. So, and one thing, we have a prophetic saying in our religion that says that these are the best days, the ones that are small but consistent. A lot of times you go to the gym, you do everything you quit the same day. Like, I'm not going back. And a lot of people, they do, like, especially now, mental health gets saturated. Everyone says they want to do it. Everyone says to talk about it, but to be consistent for 4.5 years, where it can be 2 people on the call or 100 people, to be that consistent is not easy. That takes a lot of sincerity. That takes a lot of care, genuinity, to be able to do it for them. Not getting anything rolled in return is really something hard to find. For that, I honor and respect you guys. So that's my few words for him. Thank you.
And if there is anyone who is interested in taking the mental health first aid course, please see me after this event. I can sign you up. It is free. It can be in person and also hybrid online as well. All right. So if there is nothing more, do we have any questions, any concerns, any last minute? Yes, come on, Dean Kincaid. Come on now.
I do. And it's for you. I myself am a partner. I'm a person too, but I've always been a partner. So I'm like, I'm smart. So, with that being said, and I heard you say, love everyone in that level. I tend to do that. But I also believe that was as part of And so tell me, when you are a person, you are leading with your heart, what are some things that you would recommend to people who are leading with their heart to make sure that it is still guarded?
All right. So,
That's a
as
good
you know, heart people marry head people.
Yeah.
So my wife's a heart person. And I'm a head guy. And so I'm always, just reminding her, honey, don't sign up for that. Honey, that I know that person said this to hurt you, because heart people will shut down. And they won't answer the phone, but they might get blocked. So, am I right? And so you do have to guard your heart. And so what I had to learn with my wife is when she says, I'm done with this person, because people will call her with gossip. And my wife don't do gossip. And she will block you if you call her and talk about anybody. Can you believe? I think Rod's calling me. But she just because the frequency. Then when you're doing that frequency thing, you got to protect that frequency at all costs. The only problem I have with my wife, though, is she won't tell the person why. And I think she should. Like, okay, you just cut so-and-so off. You want to tell them? No, they need to figure it out. Honey,
They will figure it out.
yeah.
I'm a hard person too, and they will figure it out. We don't want to hurt their feelings.
I'm like, why don't you just tell the person, because they're hurting, wondering what happened, and she can list some things. My wife will list them to me. I'm like, oh, that was terrible. That's bad. But the person knows. And so they don't know. So heart people sometimes won't go ahead and tell the person why you've been cut off. They will just ignore you. Am I right?
I'm an infant, so I also take on other people's emotions. So that's why I have to be very careful who I associate myself with, because I kind of take on their emotions.
That's the hard person.
You have to be careful, even though you're loving up. You have to be careful what you take.
And it can be overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes.
Can a person be both and be one at one time, another time? Because I'm kind of a heart person and also a head person.
So-
It depends, I guess, circumstances or even who I'm dealing with. And same thing with my husband. My husband can be very easily hurt. And, I want to know why. Oh, well, this guy didn't call me, and I called him. Well, maybe he had a good reason. It wasn't because he didn't like you. A friend maybe didn't.
Right.
And then I would tend to, try to rationalize with him. It could have been busy. And then other times he'll be a head person and sometimes speak very like,
Matter of fact.
Sarah, you gotta do this, or don't. You know what I mean? He'll kind of balance my heart in his head.
No,
Explain
so
that.
you
So we're both
can change based on your time. Right? So I've always been, they used to call me the missile. You tell me to do something, and it's done. They're like, where did Rod go? Oh, wow, look at what happened. Look at what, alpha male, you say you say this needs to be done, I'm getting it done. Like, why are y'all still sitting around?
Yeah.
What happened? Oh yeah, you didn't call so-and-so, don't worry, I already called. I start going, right? And everybody, but when my mother passed, I became a heart person. My heart felt like somebody was ripping it out of my chest. I had never felt that before. I had never even had a heartbreak from a relationship before, right? And when that happened, and now I want people to call me and check on me, and right? I never needed that, never wanted that until that time. So now all of a sudden, I understand my heart, folks. I'm like, okay, I'm with you. I'm gonna be a soft landing for you. I got you. I know how to do that because I didn't know how to be a soft landing for people. I just know how to give,
Advice.
rational answer.
Yeah.
Right? And that was one of the reasons my son left his wife, because he was never a soft landing for him. His good friend passed away from high school. She died from
My Lord.
She was 34 at the time. And my son, they told my son that they're gonna take off of life support. He went up to the hospital to see her. He came home looking for what? Soft landing from his wife, who did not give him that soft landing. She said, oh, well, whenever you're on drugs, that fentanyl is going to get you at some point. That's not what he needed to hear. He needed to hear, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm here for you. Just let me know what you need. I don't know what that feels like. Right? That's what he was looking for, something. He didn't get it. So after so many years of not getting that self-awareness, he started to leave. Right? And it's tough for me. 2 kids, so it's tough. So my point is, my biggest thing is we have to understand each other. So if you're a heart, you got to understand that that head person is a beast that you're married to. You got to understand that they just boom, 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 boom. And you got to love them just like that. Because you love like 30% of it. That's what pulled you to them. But you got to love the other 70% too. And then for my headstrong people, you got to love that heartstrong person. And when they do shut down, and sometimes they don't want to be bothered, and they are going to get you straight and tell you that you're too much. You need to bring it down a notch. Right? We got to learn to love each other as we are, because I don't want you to chew me to death. Rod, you're too loud. Rod, you're too much. Rod, you're too much. You keep chewing me. I don't know why. Now I'm becoming you. When I'm around you, I gotta be you. When I'm around you, I gotta be you, because y'all don't chew me to death. Because I don't know who I am.
I ain't never heard that before.
All right.
I say you shouldn't should. Don't should on yourself. And don't should on anybody else.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's the key there, is really beginning to love people for exactly who they are. Be you, be unapologetically you. Sometimes you might have to explain why you're you, but still be you.
All right. Do we have any more questions? Because we got to get out of here. Do we have any more questions for Rod? Rod, give Rod, Dr. Rod, round of applause once again. So our next steps, 30 days from today, we have the workshop for girls, right? So we're going to work that in. We're going to bring professional women. We're going to bring enlisted girls. And we're going to pour into our future. Our 90-day, our second summit will be 90 days from today. And we will be addressing prostate. I believe it was men prostate for that. And then every second Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. we have community conversations right there at 510 East MLK at the lodge there. Every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. we're at the Lifeline University online. And I'll give you the link for that. Every Thursday afternoon at 12 p.m. we have the Lifeline University for Veterans. And does anybody else have any other?
You lost me, and I know what it is.
Yes, and does anybody else have any other announcements? We do have Miss Pam Everett here. First of all, give Pam Everett a round of applause, please. Pam Everett, she is a candidate. She's running for county commissioner, and specifically for this area here. Yeah, Section 5. Ms. Pam, you want to say a couple of things before we close?
We're down to the universal campaign this year. You get to vote for everybody except my district. My district is closed. So I'm going up against an incumbent, Steve Champion, who's been there for 8 years. I think it's time for new blood. It's time for someone to represent the people. So it is a closed race in my district. So have prayers for me that we'll move forward as a community.
And hopefully and prayerfully, we'll have a debate coming up on July 30th. And hopefully he'll answer that invitation. And so be on the lookout for Canada's debate coming up on July 30th.
And it's still early enough to change parties.
Yes,
go
we
down
got
to
Yes.
July 22nd, which is Monday. If you want to be a vote, and it won't affect the other vote.
You don't have a
universal.
Yeah.
You already
Yeah, as a
said
matter of fact,
that.
let me stay here for a
If you're
second.
independent
So,
or Democrat, you can change your vote.
yeah, let me just say it for a second. So, just for a second. So, this county is a red county, which means that in the primary, in order for you to participate in the electoral process, you have to be Republican, because there's no other primary process for anybody else, because this is a red county. If you should happen to be something associated with a party other than the Republican Party, you can, in order to participate, you can change your party to be Republican for that day. And then right after that, you can change back to whatever you want to change it if you want to participate in the electoral process. That's just the way the county is. And that's the way the lay of the land. Also, just as a sidebar, if you are here and you need assistance in mortgage and rent and utilities and things like that, I have the contact information for United Way, and they do provide services for individuals that are in need. And if you need that, please see me right after today's event. If all hearts and minds are clear. Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, Rob, you were saying about the girls, but it ain't the girls that came up with the queen. So we need him and stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
The queen.
That's right. That's right. The queen.
Queen is more supportive.
Dream queen.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Dream queen. There you go. We pinned it. We all right? Is that all right? Dream queens?
All right, and you said announcements, right? Because I know he had an announcement earlier.
Yes.
About some things. Okay, I do want to get this out, spread the word, because FAMU NAA Pasco Hernando chapter on August the 3rd, 2024, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's Saturday. We're doing a Rattlers send-off. It's at the Vivo Brady's. That's at 14136 7th Street, Day City, Florida. RSVP text is 407-421-7685 by August 1st. Drinks and snacks are provided. All Rattlers, past and future, invited. But so if y'all happen to know any students that will be attending FAM, we would like them to come. If you would like to be a part of FAM, your chapter would like you to come. If you don't have nothing to do that day, you can come out and mingle with us.
What day is that?
That is August the 3rd, 2024, and I will, share it on the Lifeline.
Thank you. Could Yanni be there as well?
Yes, yes.
Yanni could come, because she's getting ready to go into college as well. I want her to be exposed to that college.
Yeah, real quick. You know how you have a panel up here? What if you have a panel of men speaking to the women, or college men, to speak to the women before you enter college to understand what you face?
I know all the women would love that. I know all the women right here. I mean, let's ask the women right now. How would y'all like a panel of men? Just ask them. How would y'all like a panel? How do you like a panel of men?
Yeah.
All right. But speak to them. No, seriously, because he's right.
Because we need to show.
Because we need to show our girls what real men look like.
But also we need to warn them, because remember I told you I have 25 clients. One's an MD, 32 years old, Black female, and she was raped in college. Somebody put something in her drink. And she was raped. And then when I told that story, and I was doing her book, my cousin from Indiana was at the house, and she said, "Oh, that happened to me too when I was in college." Now I've been knowing her since she was 15 when I joined the family. And when she went through a divorce, she did all kind of wild stuff. And now I understand why. Because it's something that happened to her. And here it is when she's 42 and we're just finding out. She never told any other family member that she was raped in college. So what's my point? Things like don't leave your drink. Don't leave your drink unattended. You leave it, get a new one, right? Be careful of, going into the men's dormitory. I mean, I'm sure y'all have some college stories that you wish some grown folk had told you a little, prepare you better. And I think that if we did something like that, I can even believe I can even bring them in from young to old who graduate college. You can have that.
So let's do that along with the professional women. Okay. All right. Come on, let us stand for the doxology and the benediction. Good job. God, thank you for your spirit that you have invoked in this place on today. Now, oh God, lead us back out now into the world. Keep us and guide us. Bring healing into the world that needs your healing, and we'll be ever so careful to continue to give your name the praise, honor, and the glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you.
And I also want to announce, because I know some veterans in here, Black Educators Conference is, they do a calendar. We've been doing a calendar yearly. And this year, the theme for that calendar is about veterans. So we're featuring the veterans. So I know some veterans in here.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Ms. Black.
I don't have a much time, but we can do the same.
Ready to go eat?